I am befuddled. I've got to figure it out though. That should be good.
Do you know where I am?
No, you're a chameleon.
Little hands come in handy.
They do.
Get it, hands and hit little hands.
I get it. Little boy's got big dad jokes. Sit up there and we'll turn on some Boom Squad. Hey guys, what is up? It's Biff and you're back for another episode in the Fearless Mods Garage working on the 2019 Kia Stinger GTS. We got some exciting new stuff in. I am super excited about how good this package from Safety Restore looks. So we got the seat belts for the rear. We are still waiting on the module to go with our door panel light on the driver's side. And we are ready to finalize some adjustments. Hopefully we'll be getting the title in the mail today, probably not. Hopefully next week. So I got to get some stuff wrapped up on this so we can get it on the road. We can at least have the back end put back together with all those beautiful seat belts in it, the front end adjusted and put back together, and we will be good to go. All of our little repairs complete for now. Before we jump into it, I do just want to tell you guys a big thank you. We are pushing the threshold, getting close to 3,000 subscribers. That's a milestone for me, maybe not for many, but for me that's huge. That's a long ways from 30,000 or 300,000 or 3 million. And I'm not sure that I'll ever see any of those numbers, but 3,000 sure feels good. And I'm glad to have you here. I hope a lot more of you will reach down there and subscribe if you like the kind of stuff that we're doing on this channel with these rebuilds and the do-it-yourself repairs to a lot of common cars. So when we hit that 3,000 mark, I'm going to have a little something special that I'll put out there for you just to say thank you. So be on the lookout for that. One of the things that happened was whenever I took off this fender, a lot of those, remember there were 6 posts that snap into place into this fender, and of those only 2 were still part of this carbon fiber piece that I got off of eBay. The other 4 were broken off, so I bought a new one, swapped them out, and epoxied them in. They were close, but not quite perfect, and so it never quite sat down in there perfectly, and one of them might have even snapped as we were assembling everything, but certainly as we took it apart, we snapped a couple more of them off. And in the end, what I did was go ahead and snap all 4 of them off, flip it over, install it with the 2 good ones, and epoxy them in place while it was actually clamped to the fender. So now everything's perfectly aligned. It's had several days to cure. This thing is exactly where it needs to be, and it looks fantastic. So we'll just have to assemble this with that piece already on there, including the air duct. First thing I want to do is go ahead and pop this hood and just do some, I want to loosen this side of the bumper and just see if I can get this hood to even go where I want it to and get proper latching and closing to give me the gaps I want. Then I want to put the bumper in the place that corresponds to that and work backward on these fenders. This is crazy. It is absolutely insane. This is built perfectly. There is no reason I should be having to bring anything forward over here. The measurements to these brackets fit perfectly. And the measurements are dead on, dead on. So it makes no sense to me why I'm having to try to bring this side forward to match the gap on this side. I am perplexed. You know, putting spacers behind so much stuff over here to bring the whole left side of the car forward, and it just makes no sense. We've progressed a little bit further here into it, and what I've determined is the height over here is about half of this bolt head off on height. So what I'm going to do is I've unbolted the bash bar, taken the intercooler off. I'm going to go ahead and get a washer underneath that left side of the radiator support and raise it up just a little bit so it evens it out with this one, and then put everything back on and see if just that little bit of tweak will help out with some of those hood alignment problems we're having, because I'm kind of out of ideas and grasping at straws, and that is a definite measurement that I took, put the tire back on, leveled it all out, and then and it's just that much higher over here. So I'm going to raise that side up the same amount so that it's even. Okay, so a couple hours later, and we've got a potential partial solution. I still got to put a couple of the little washers here underneath this fender to raise it up the same amount, and then we should be good to go. Same. Alright guys, before I pull my f***ing hair out, I'm going to pull away from this for a minute, because nothing I'm doing changes a damn thing. Adjustments are supposed to be affecting things everywhere and driving me crazy for a different reason, but instead I'm making adjustments and nothing's changing, and that's what's driving me crazy, and I am out of ideas. So I'm going to take a pause and think on it. I don't know. Okay guys, so it's another day. I got my fearless mods man helper here. Let's go ahead and get these awesome seat belts installed back here. A huge shout out to Safety Restore for hooking us up with these beautiful seat belts to match the front ones. I mean, these are gonna look absolutely amazing to have the rear matching the front. Give that trigger a couple squeezes. Again. Good. Okay, trigger a couple squeezes. Okay. Again. One more. Good.
So 13.
I'm gonna say that was probably a 12.
Oh, so a really small one.
Is that the right size?
Perfect.
Okay. Here, you want to use the smaller one? So we got this laying flat. There's a bracket and a bolt, and then there's a bolt hole here. There's a peg, and then you got a slot back here for the bolt. So Ryan's gonna go ahead and slide it up in there, into position. Okay, is the front one on too? Okay, let's see if we can get this started. Got you on there, and you're just gonna pull the trigger on this one. Harder pull. Good. Wait a second. There you go. That's good. Now that we've got the rear seatbelt side and center connectors in, we've got to get this one back into the seat. So if you remember, we had one 19mm nut, and we had to cut a slit right here just to give us enough room to get over here and put in that nut, which goes about right here, and then fish everything through. So that's what I'm going to do right now. And making sure this goes the correct way is very important. So this will fit in like this, keep the belt flat, and then this pops up through like that. So first thing I'm going to do is fish this through here. Can you reach in and grab that? Now, can you get that buckle? There we go. Now wait, there's one more piece that's got to come through. There you go. Can you get that piece through?
Maybe.
Now I'm going to feed the belt module through. Okay, so now we've got the belt. I'm going to just fish the last piece of it through here and get this on the bolt head here. I'll try to show you. There's the bolt head, and it leads up and out through the top, which is kind of blocked right now. You can see we got the nut on there. I just got to tighten it down. There's a little plastic cover on top of there. Keeps the belt from getting interfered with pressure from the seat back. Now that we've got that, I think what we'll do is just go ahead and put the armrest in here while we've got a little easier access to it. So the back piece of plastic, the bottom has the snap-in retainers on this wire, and the top just hooks in. So we will hook it into those as we put it into place. All right, cool. And that's how that back piece goes in. We've got essentially just a big receiver here on the hinge on this side, and a big metal just probe that goes into it. On this side, there's one of these bolts that you take out, a 12 millimeter, to flip a hinge up, and this just sits down into its hinge plate. This is the bracket that I was saying you just flip down over the top like that, and then you put in the 12 millimeter bolt. Go ahead and pop those in. And then we've got these two bolts that have to go in. They're the 12 millimeter ones. I've got my extension. I'm just going to try to feed it back through there, make sure that it's threading. That one's definitely in. Ooh. Stand by, stand by. Oh, that hurt. I'm so sorry. We just had a workplace incident. We got a hand shut in a trunk. Getting a drink of Coke, does that make it worthwhile?
Sure.
Seatbelts done, they look fantastic. Ryan's over there nursing his wound with a Diet Coke, which will take care of everything that ails you. And so now I'm here with Dave. Dave's my neighbor. He's going to help me pull this off. So our plan is to go ahead and pull the hood off with the hinges on it, set it on here, and then remove the hinges from the hood and place it back into position so we can see if it's even possible to get it where it needs to be with the proper gaps. Mark it, and then we can come back and try to go back in with the hinges and things to get it right back to the markings. Okay, hood is off. We got some tape here both to protect it and so we can mark our positioning marks. Once we got on there, we got the hinges off of the hood, so now it's time to go ahead and put it in place and pop it in. We're in the latch right there. So we've already got the alignment issue right there.
So it's this looks great here.
Yeah, with me cocked over a ½ inch.
Okay. Now, how do we fix that?
And so, you know, the only thing that makes me worry about is frame. So that's the only thing I can think.
You're right.
And it would have had to pull this side with it.
Well,
the car aligned.
This side, yeah, it would. If it went that way, it would pull everything. You're right.
Yeah, but there was no perceptible frame damage. Okay, all right. So what that means I need to do, and the funny thing is all these line up too, with the tabs, the wings and stuff. Because what this makes it seem like I would need to do is find a way, like I've already done, moving this up a little, is to now bring it this way that much.
Let's take this back off.
So I'm not concerned about the frame having any horrible damage,
Yep.
but I need to bring that whole front structure over by whatever that amount is.
Yep.
I'm not upset by this. We wouldn't find this out if we had done it any other way.
That's good right there. That's perfect.
I'm gonna have to remove this whole front support and make some of the whole slots instead, so I can move the support with everything else still bolting into the frame exactly where it does. I've noticed this all along.
Yeah.
I'm slightly low here and slightly high here. I think that will Probably, you know what I mean, pulling that over a little bit might help flex that a little. That might be what's causing it. Because these right now are pushed all the way in, so they got some room to come this way. I can always use spacers behind this stuff. And what I like is, at least now, I mean, I know these are level, and I know that that's why the distances we're working out, because this distances this way aren't picking up on skew. Let me go to that nub. That's exactly, that's probably my distance. Let me just check that one. That's a good data point as well, I think. It wouldn't be all that, it'd be half of that. It's half of that, because if I move it all that way, then I'm opposite. 3/4, so it's going to be 3/8. Yeah. Big, huge thanks to Dave for helping out. This is how you find out things that you otherwise could never find out by yourself. And so let me show you a little bit of what we did here, and then I'll explain to you what that means to correct this problem. We put some markers on here, some location marks, just so that we have reference points. You can see the corresponding marks up here on the hood. In order to get that front gap uniform around there like it needs to be, we had to kick that back end over back here to where it was over the top of this fender. So we drew a reference line to show this is where the outside edge of this marker mark is where the outside edge of that hood has to be. It's apparent that this entire front end did get shifted over slightly in the accident. The funny thing is, we did all the measurements for it. None of these diagonals go to the same, they're not the same this way to this way. This one goes from a rear fender bolt to this front core support mount. But the one that goes to this front core support mount goes to the front hinge bolt. It doesn't go to the rear fender bolt. That one goes to this fender bolt. So you are getting a lot of crossing measurements to see how things are lining up, but you weren't getting any of them that were the same this way as they are this way to give a glaring indication that the front end had shifted. So this mark is about 3/4 of an inch from the center of that pin, so to get it straightened up would be about 3/8 of an inch of movement. And back here, furthest back here from the outside of this mark over to here is a 1/2 inch, and then you add an inch, 1/8 of an inch for the gap, you're at 5/8 of an inch. So we got 3/8 of an inch as compared to 5/8 of an inch. Probably the plan to do is just split the difference and try to bring it over an even 1/2 inch, and then give myself just a little bit of room to play with back there that I can adjust things around and hopefully get it right where it needs to be within the normal adjustments of everything. You would think that maybe this is devastating news. It actually isn't to me, because number one, the car drives and handles great and has got an alignment and goes straight down the road. So I'm not concerned about any major frame damage, because visually it all looked fine anyway, but clearly something has gotten shifted at the far front to move it that 1/2 inch. But number two, it's just good to know what the heck has been fighting me this whole damn time. And this might be the root of everything. So if we can start over here and get this correct all the way around the front and all the way around the back to the doors, we will be done, and this baby will shut up nice with some beautiful gaps, and it will be pristine. Again, we're getting real close to 3,000. I think you guys might push us over the top with this video, so please watch the whole thing, give me a like and a subscribe, and don't forget to come back and see how this cliffhanger turns out. I'm excited about it. It's going to be a lot more work, but I'm super excited. Thank you to Ryan for your help today, buddy, putting in the seat belts. That's going to be it. We'll catch you again real soon. Take care.